My condolences to you, brother. Jim Banks, brother Tim. Handled Jim Brown, but brother Tim said he lost 2 of his friends in the fort. Come on. My condolences to you. And that's another thing. I know I'm going on and on, but this show you we lost in the sauce, man. Why we? That's another thing. We are celebrating. We out there in the midst of a pandemic now, celebrating the 4th of July when none of you Negroes' ancestors was free. Why are you out there on the 4th of July celebrating independence that you did not have? That's why Frederick Douglass, he gave that speech, I believe it was in 1852. What is the 4th of July to the slave? He called the hypocrisy of it all. Why you asking me to speak with my people in chains? Why you Negroes outside acting a fool with these fireworks, still lighting up fireworks? You've been lighting fireworks since May. My father said they was lighting fireworks till 1 o'clock in the morning. Then 4:30 a.m. they start shooting. Not fireworks, start shooting. What's wrong with you? You just want an opportunity to get drunk and to eat some swine and talk mess. Juneteenth. Let's celebrate Juneteenth. Everybody celebrate Juneteenth. Do you realize everybody didn't get the news of freedom on that day? I was just talking to my mother about that. How some of our people that was in Alabama in that area, they learned of it on May 28th. It depends on what area you were at. In Texas, and some of those that was in Galveston, you just found out at that time on June 19th. So that's a national thing. We all about the symbolism. We all about whatever don't matter. We want to paint Black Lives Matter on the street, but not live out Black Lives Matter. Abort your babies, but paint Black Lives Matter. Shoot your babies in the street, but paint Black Lives Matter. Don't raise your kids, but paint Black Lives Matter. We're going to tear down this statue, but we ain't going to raise our kids. We're going to talk about no justice, no peace, but we ain't got justice nowhere. We certainly don't have peace in our communities. We're a bunch of hypocrites, man. Bunch of hypocrites. Talk about this, running your mouth, talking about that. Won't support any black business. Won't support any black business. Won't build a community. Won't even build a family. Please. Want to talk about what people want to do? Won't study. I'm talking about won't make your kids study. Before the pandemic, before you e-learning, you won't demand that your children read, that your children educate them. You don't take the step. You don't value education. How can I say such a thing? I'm an educator. I know. I see it, man. Just the reality. The vast don't care. Do not care. That's cultural. That's not politically correct, but damn near political correctness. You look at other cultures, look at some, and I'm not saying every Asian culture, you look at Japanese culture, look at Chinese culture, look how much they study. For the most part, look at their kids. You look at the African immigrant that come here. What they tell you? You're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an engineer, you're going to be... Grad school, that's a given. I'm not saying that you can't go into trades, but you still need to educate yourself. A lot of us don't value education. You had us after emancipation, after slavery, filling up one-room schoolhouses, young and old, trying to learn how to read. We're not doing that now. We're not doing that now. And if you say we're doing that now, you're not being honest. We're not doing that. I'm talking about having the fervor and the drive education. Because they looked at education as a means to get free. We're not doing that, man. You look back then, they didn't have all this, we had less illegitimacy than whites. Now we got 77%. Like I said, we have adopted a death culture. From the food we eat to how we handle one another, to our acts, man, it's bad, man. I know I'm rambling, but that's disturbing. I want to read something. This is in Hosea. This is chapter 4. Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. It said, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land." So here he's making a charge and indictment against the children of Israel, God's people. He said, man, there's a controversy with the inhabitants because there's no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. We are people void of the knowledge of God. He said, and you know we void of it by our actions, brothers and sisters. You know we don't have a damn clue because of our actions. He said, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. That's us. That's us. Killing like 40 going north. Killing in the womb. Killing when you get out the womb. Again, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. You're not going to have peace. Why? Because you don't have knowledge of God. And that's what he's saying there. And here, Hosea is, and that's the truth today. How you going to have peace when you turn your back on God? How you going to have peace when you become an atheist in your actions? You act as if God doesn't exist. You act as if there is no time of judgment. There's no repercussions from your sin. You act as if you're not going to have to pay, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to pay in this life and the next if you don't get your act together, if you don't get your house in order. We need a reformation. Straight up. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. You're going to lose everything. He said, yet let no man strive, nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priest. That's how we are. What do you mean strive with the priest? Hold your finger here. Deuteronomy 17 chapter. It's another thing. That's another thing. We don't have order. We don't have order. See, when you got true men of God in place, you got order. You got somebody, you got authority. See, everybody want to run their mouth. See, ain't no order in our community. Why I say that? Because the father, number one, the one that is the strength of the household is absent. When he is absent, the woman is out of control. I'm going to say it again. When he is absent and derelict of his duty, the woman is out of control. When the woman is out of control and the father's not there, and the father's not there, the children are out of control. So they don't have order. They don't understand authority, so they are acting a fool. You see examples of this in these situations where these women, black women, are finding themselves in something, and all of a sudden somebody pull a gun on them, and they still running their mouth. Shut up. Why are you in that situation to begin with? Because where your man at? How dare you say where your man? I ask you again, where your man at? That's your protector. That should be your provider. But because you don't have a clue, you out there talking to somebody who got the power to blow your head off. And you talking crazy. That's because you don't understand authority. You don't understand order. Your children out here killing people. They talking to the cops crazy. I ain't saying they don't crooked cops. There's definitely some crooked cops. I ain't saying that. But at the same time, you talking crazy to put. You don't understand authority. Understanding power and power dynamics will save your life. So here, when there was a matter that arose between people, they could go to who? They could go to the priest or to the judge. And whatever sentence they had, you had to obey that. Verse 12, I'm in Deuteronomy 17 and 12. It said, and the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away. Yeah, let me help y'all out. Man, don't have no conversation on my page right now. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away the evil from Israel. I'm telling you this, reading. Hey, how you doing? Have a side conversation, man. You go somewhere else with that. Hosea the 4th chapter. Again, yet no man strive nor reprove another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priest. You won't even listen. That's what he's saying. That's your problem now. You won't even listen to authority. Somebody giving you direction. You don't want to listen. How dare you tell me something? You on your way off a cliff. Therefore shalt thou fall in the day, and the prophet also shall fall within the night, and I will destroy thy mother. Destruction is coming. Then he said something. He said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. You rejected knowledge, you rejected him. So how he go? You crying out to God, but he not hearing you. Hold your finger here. Let's find out why he not hearing you. This is Isaiah the 59th chapter. You in a world of trouble, but he don't hear you. The world is falling down around you, but he don't hear you. You're in the midst of the storm, but he don't hear you. And the irony is that we walk around and we act as if everything is okay. We act as if we are literally blessed and highly favored when we cursed. Isaiah 59th chapter, verse 1. It said, behold, the Lord's hand is not short that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. He is not deficient in anything. It is not him. He is not the problem. We the problem. We the problem. It ain't like he can't say he can prepare a table for you in the midst of your enemies. It could be you and 10,000. If he on your side, the 10,000 just lost. So it said, behold, the Lord's hand is not short that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. He said, I'm the Lord thy God which brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. With the mighty hand was stretched out on me. Fury poured out. He tell you another place I'm going to rule over you. But he did it. He brought him out on eagle's wings. Because at the end of the day, he going to redeem us as a people. But we got to turn back to him. So he said, behold, the Lord's hand is not short that it cannot save, neither is it heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face in you that he will not hear. See, you can't keep doing what you're doing and then talk about God, but that's what you do in these hellholes, in these white sepulchres you call churches. He tells you why. You can tell we don't have a clue. He said, for your hands are defiled with blood and your fingers with iniquity. See, you a bunch of killers. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue have muttered perverseness. None calleth for justice, nor any pleaded for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. He goes on to say in verse 7, their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Come on, let's kill that N-word. That's what they've been doing all weekend. Running to evil, to do evil. Not running away, running to do evil, and in the midst of shooting kids. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. And see, people won't tell you about your wickedness and trifling behavior, and that's why you go on thinking everything is okay. That's why you can continue to justify yourself and not take accountability that leads you into these circumstances. Not just the killer. I'm talking about the one that had to birth the killer, that he came out your womb. I'm talking about the one that didn't raise the killer. I'm talking about the pastor that didn't tell your mama and your daddy and you what thus saith the Lord. Guilty, guilty, guilty. And not you guilty. I'm talking about the one that laid down with the no good Negro that got pregnant. I'm talking to you too. I'm talking to the one that justifies inappropriate behavior amongst our people. I'm talking to the one that justifies degeneracy amongst our people. I'm talking to your butt too. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth there shall not know peace. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither doth justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity. For brightness, but we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as dead men. He said we war all like bears and mourn sore like doves. You always talking about what you gonna do. You ain't gonna do a damn thing. You always talking about what you gonna do. No justice, no peace. Okay, you ain't get it, now what? Well, let's go home. Because that was, in reality, that was just a chant. That sounded cool about 20 years ago. 30, actually 40 years ago. It's just a chant. You ain't gonna do nothing. If you do something, you gonna burn up your own community. It ain't like you gonna go and really go do something to somebody else community. Because you know what that entails. For the most part, you really ain't gonna do. You got a few instances here and there that you starting to see, but in reality, you know what the deal is. They allowed that stuff to happen. Let me school you for a second. They allowed that stuff to happen in these democratic cities. That was all political. That was all political. Because once they didn't want it to happen, guess what? All right, y'all clean this mess up. Seattle, y'all, we doing this, we doing that. Okay, chop this over. Why? Because they didn't stop it when somebody got killed. See, they was waiting on the president to do some rash. And it ended up being bad so it could look bad on him. That's part of this. They playing chess. So then, when they went to the mayor's house and said, okay, that's enough of that. Y'all get this mess out of here. And guess what? They allowed the police to do their job. Don't be stupid. And you gotta think about it. Well, why these anarchists and Marxists and socialists? I thought this was about black life. It ain't about black life. This was just, they using it as a means. They looking at black suffering as a means to do what they want to do. This is an opportunity. Everybody from the white supremacists to the anarchists to the Marxists to the transgender to the homosexual. Everybody has their agenda and you sitting around looking stupid. We roar all like bears and mourn sore like doves. Again, you talking about what you're going to do, but then you're going to be crying. We look for judgment, but there is none. You looking for justice, but don't have any. For salvation, but it is far from us. For our transgressions are multiplied before thee, and our sins testify against us. For our transgressions are with us, and as for our iniquities, we know them. That's us, brothers and sisters. Back to Hosea, and this is it. So it says, Hosea 4 verse 6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That thou shalt be no priest to me, because we are a kingdom and nation of priests. That thou shalt be no more priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. See, you forgot the law, you forgot Torah, which is instruction, and that's what you need to turn back unto. That's what you need to turn back unto. It's always my prayer that you edify.